Let's jump into How's the Market December edition 2024. Let's go. All right, so as a professional, the most common question I always get when I'm talking to buyers or sellers or investors is, how's the market? What's going on, Paulie, with the market? And so this edition is for December 2024. Now, I know we're in January now, but these numbers don't come out to mid to late month from the prior month. And so we're gonna take a look at what's been going on the entirety of 2024, because there's been some interesting things happening since the peak of the market in 2022. And so we'll talk about what's been happening since then, what's been happening this year, and then where we're going in 2025, so you can make an informed decision with some inside market information to figure out whether you should buy or sell in 2025. All right, let's jump in. So we're looking at data from Austin Board of Realtors. This data comes in for a significant majority of homes that are bought and sold in Central Texas. So now, the Austin Board of Realtor data is important because it tells us what's going on a month-to-month basis. However, it only trends year over year, meaning they show us trends on what's happened from this point last year, not what's trending month over month, which is why it's important to tune into these videos to see what's happening boots on ground from someone who's actually dealing with real estate at a high level on a month-to-month basis. So, all right, for 2024 December, we saw Travis County at $512,000 median sales price. I'm gonna get to Williamson County later here, but for Travis County, we'll start off Travis County, the more centralized central metro area as far as what Travis County incorporates versus Williamson County being a little bit more rural and on the outskirts of the bedroom communities around Austin. But for Travis County, $512,000. That's just about even from the prior month of November, $515,000. So an insignificant difference month over month. I'd say we're even on the median sales price month over month. Now that's interesting because the last quarter of 2024, we've kind of skidded across the bottom on what's been happening with the market. I'll do a full market review here after Travis and Williamson County, but let's quickly go over the numbers for Travis County. $512,000, the months of inventory, 4-month supply, pretty healthy supply. We start getting up to 5 or 6 months, that's a pretty high number, but we hang around 3 or 4 months. That's a pretty healthy number on homes on the market. Not too much an advantage of the sellers, not too much an advantage of the buyers, and so a 4-month supply is healthy. That's down a month and a half from the November numbers, which was a 5.5. Okay, so new listings down 200 homes, active listings down 1,200 homes, so less homes coming to market. Active listings, less homes on the market. Now remember, December numbers, okay, are for December. Closed numbers for closed homes were, so 512,000 median sales price, that's for closed homes sold in the month of December. But remember, those homes sold in November, the home sold in November, the property finished out and closed in December, okay? So they went into contract in November, closed in December. All right, but for new listings in December, homes are down 200, active listings down 1,200. Pretty typical, taking into consideration that, look, there's the holidays and New Year's, and so it's not as prevalent for more people to come to market. We see that starting to happen right now in January 2025. Average days on market for Travis County, 75 days, exactly equal to the previous month of November. And so what we've seen is what stereotypically happens at this time of year is that the market kind of cools out. All right, let's jump into Williamson County for the median sales price, $425,000. Now, look, that's again a very insignificant difference from November, $423,000. So I'd call it pretty much even from November to December. In the Williamson County area, again, the more rural portion of Central Austin's or Central Texas, where there's these bedroom communities around Austin, Pflugerville, Georgetown, Hutto, Round Rock, and so there's just a little bit less density in Williamson County. So 425,000 compared to the 512,000 for Travis County. We can see that the prices are a little lower here for the months of inventory, 3.2, which is pretty good for sellers. That's teetering on a heavily favored seller's market versus the 4 months of inventory in Travis County. We start moving towards 5 or 6 months, and now we're really moving towards a real buyer's market versus a seller's market hanging around 3 to 4 months. However, the X factor here is the interest rate, and we know that the interest rate's been higher, and so that's been in the buyer's favor as far as inventory building up a little bit, and the market being a little bit slower. Months of inventory, 3 months, but days on market is 78. So while there's only a 3-month supply of properties on the market, meaning if no other homes sold today, how long would it take for the inventory to exhaust itself? 3 months. All right, so how long though is the average day sitting on market? As the average home sitting on market? 78 days. That's almost the entirety of the months of inventory. And so what we see is a slowdown in it taking longer to sell homes. Okay, now I didn't mention this in the Travis County video, but now this doesn't take into account the fact that when a property is priced right, it will sell in 30 days-ish, under 1.5 million. We can have a conversation around that if you have questions as far as a property over $1 million, properties under $1 million, depending on where you're at. But look, properties that are priced right under $1.5 million are selling within 30 to 45 days. I mean, your home should sell in 30 to 45 days, really favoring less than 30 days. All right, so why doesn't that happen? My property's not priced right. I'm being stubborn with the realities of when a property's priced right, it still sells within 30 days because we see that properties that have taken longer than 30 days to sell and they were priced too high, adjust their price. Unfortunately, some of them are chasing down the market, and that when they get to a price that buyers feel is an approachable price, a price where they should go look at the property. Because look, people are not shopping for overpriced items. And when you price higher, they're just not going to show up. We see this on a daily basis. So when the property gets to a price point where buyers feel that it's a price worth looking at, they'll show up, and those properties, after that price adjustment, still sell within 30 days. So we know 30 to 45 days is the magic marker on your property selling, and that if it's taking longer than that, then look, you're chasing down the market and ultimately likely selling for less money, right? You want to sell faster because it means you sell for more. There's a whole lot more to talk about that for being able to make sure you get the most money possible when you sell your property. All right, so we talked about Travis County and Williamson County. Let's jump quick to what's been going on the entirety of the year, because at $512,000 for Travis County at the beginning, closing out for the median sales price in December, we started at $478,000. That's a 6% increase year to date. So for the year in Travis County, we saw a 6% increase in value. Williamson County, $425,000, finishing out in December. We started at $429,000. So look, we're pretty much even. $425,000 in December, $429,000 in January at the beginning of the year. Not much has happened in regards to the value for Williamson County moving. All right, so 6% in Travis County. We're pretty much even in Williamson County. Now, remember, because when people talk about, well, when should I sell my property? When should I make a move? Well, we know October, November, December, things slow down. January, things begin to pick up. But what I've noticed year over year for the last 3 years is that the market's really peaking. And I keep looking up over here. So I know you guys are like, what is he looking at? I'm looking at my wall of fame here because I keep every month by month, what's going on with property values. And so we have seen a trend over the last several years that March and April are actually the most significant months of growth in regards to median price point value, both in Travis and Williamson County. All right, so if you get on the market in March or April, super busy months. However, those 2 months have consistently been the 2 months where property values increase the most. And so if you're trying to time the market, don't recommend it, that may see the opportunity to have seen the biggest chunks of appreciation in the year. So if you want to see the best bump and where the top of the market's going to be, just like in 2023, just like in 2022, the market peaks in May. And we saw that in May at the peak of the market in May of 2022. We hit an all-time high in the Central Texas area. And then from May to December, we crashed 30%. And then 23 and 24 were all about recovery, just kind of skidding across the bottom, moving upwards just a little bit, 3%, 5%, 6% we saw in Travis County. And so if you want to try to time the market, then April and May is the most activity with the appreciation bumping in those months. And then May seeing the peak of that. And then June, still a good month to receive the dividends of April, March and April appreciation. However, July, things are flattening out. Like we see activity start to slow down in July and really in August. Now, there's a lot more homes on the market. People's perception is that there's a lot of buyers running around, but the holidays, the end of summer, July, August is slower months where people are off jet setting in their cottages in the Hamptons or in Colorado to escape the Texas heat. And so July and August are slower months. Now, look, when's the right time for you to sell a property in 2025? When the time's right for you. Because while all of these circumstances and time frames and seasons have their pros and their cons, depending on the neighborhood that you're in, depending on the inventory, depending on your circumstances, there's always opportunity and there's always risks. So having a consultation to figure out, okay, what's going on in my area? What's going on in my neighborhood? What are the pros and cons for me to be able to still sell for a higher price depending on the season? There's always opportunity with that. We just have to have a conversation to figure it out. Now, for 2025, what I see, honestly, is probably a little bit more of what we saw this past year, depending on what happens with the economy. There's some external factors there that are going to be contingent on how far we grow or how fast we grow. And so that's an X factor. And I think a safe bet is that things will get a little bit, they'll continue to be a little bit better because the demand for Austin, Texas and its surrounding bedroom communities still remains high. The inventory still remains relatively low. And we've seen quite a bit of activity in January for what's going on with the Central Texas market. And so what that means is people are getting used to the interest rates. What that means is that without being political, the administration change I think is part of the energy in regards to people feeling like there could be better economic opportunities. Now, whether that plays itself out or not is an X factor. And so that's why I think that it's tentative to be careful that not to expect tremendous growth, but that because of the inventory relatively low, because of the demand in Austin still more relatively high, that at the worst we could see a little bit more growth. At the best we could see some moderate growth, 7%, but I'd say it's probably gonna hang somewhere between 3 to 5%, maybe a little bit more if we're lucky. So look, don't expect us to go over the rainbow on value in Austin, Texas. As an investor, as somebody who's looking to time when to cash out, because you're trying to figure it out. When should I sell? I missed the peak of the market. Lots to talk about there. And so a conversation to figure it out will help you understand what's best for you. Now, for buying a home in 2025 in Central Texas, there's a lot of opportunities because while the inventory is relatively still a little bit lower, 3-4 months supply, interest rates have caused things to slow down on the average days on market. I talked about that with Williamson and Travis County, both pushing almost 80 days, which is a long time, which actually means people are not pricing properly because we're seeing properties that are priced right still sell within 30 days. Even after they've made their price adjustment, the property sells within 30 days. But if you're not priced right, you're gonna sit on the market a longer period of time. So what's happening? People are not pricing right, and so they're sitting on the market a longer period of time. And ultimately that's hurting them because the people who are really motivated start making concessions. All right, we're talking about buyers here, right? So buyers have an opportunity to be able to negotiate more and better depending on the scenario, depending on the conversation that's happening with the agent and with the listing agent to figure out what kind of deals are out there. Because whether it's a resale plenty of deals out there, or whether it's a new home. Look, some of the inventory for new homes has begun to stack up, and they're offering incentives to concessions, to contributions, to upgrades. And so there's plenty of scenarios out there for you to be able to take advantage if it makes sense for you financially, because don't put yourself in a situation where you're really stretching yourself financially and make a compromise to your financial integrity for you, for your family, for your future. Like, this has really got to make sense affordability wise, because let's face it, with these interest rates and with these higher price points, it's a lot more expensive to buy a $300,000 house as a first-time home buyer, or somebody who's purchasing on the lower level of what's available on a price point. It costs a lot more per month. And so having that conversation, having that clarity to understand your vision is my mission, to figure out whether you should buy or sell real estate, what the timing of that looks like, and ultimately for you to be able to get the best deal possible. Hey, stay tuned. I want to hear what you think of the market. What do you think of what's going on with interest rate? What do you think about what's happening in your neighborhood and where the market's going in Austin, Texas? Because it's going to continue to be a ride to understand that, hey, this is one of the best places, best states to be, Austin, Texas, for what's going on in the real estate world, because there will continue to be opportunity. There will continue to be growth, whether you like it or not. And so there are circumstances for everyone to consider. Stay tuned.